Hey, what's up? Leonard here. In this video, I'm gonna show to you how you can use ChatGPT to receive effective supervision for any of your coaching cases, and by that increase the value that your coachees perceive from your coaching sessions. All right, so on the screen, you can see the conversation that I had with ChatGPT about this topic, and I will read to you all my prompts and the answers, not word by word, but I'm rather going to comment on my thinking of what I did and why I used what specific prompt, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully at the end of the video, you'll know yourself how you can use ChatGPT for supervision. All right, so the first prompt that I used was, what do you understand by supervision in the context of business or executive coaching? And this is something I pretty much always do. So I use a knowledge and I use a prompt to set the scene to increase the reliability in regards to the answer. So what I mean by that is, if I ask ChatGPT to give me an answer about something that I know more about or know something about, then I know if ChatGPT knows the topic or not. So in the context of business or executive coaching, supervision refers to the process of reflecting on and reviewing the coaching work with a supervisor or mentor who provides guidance and support to the coach. Okay, cool. So it seems like the understanding of what supervision means is given. Cool. So next, I instructed ChatGPT what it should do for me and what it should help me with. So I'm going to read this one to you completely. So imagine that you were a business and executive coach trainer with 20 years of experience in coaching and positive psychology. You have several certificates from the International Coaching Federation. From now on, you are my supervisor who coaches me to provide greater value to my coachees. And then my coachee has the following problem. He feels like he always takes much better care of others than himself, which causes him to miss out on promotions. Unfortunately, I'm not making any progress with him. We're going in circles. I feel like he's not opening up and is hiding something. What would be your recommendations for the next step with the coachee? So what did I do here? First of all, I instructed ChatGPT to act like something. Imagine principle. So I wanted ChatGPT to imagine it's a business and executive coach trainer. So I did that, and then I explained my coaching case to ChatGPT. And before I even said, from now on, you are my supervisor who coaches me to provide greater value to my coachees. Okay, so now it's very clear what ChatGPT's role is. Okay, and what's the answer though? Thank you for sharing the situation with your coachee. It can be challenging when a coachee is not opening up or making progress, despite your best efforts. Okay, here are some recommendations. Now, you can read them yourself. However, I'm just gonna read the headline. Reflect on your coaching approach. That is valuable. Explore their resistance. Okay, fair. Revisit the coaching agreement. Interesting. And consider referring them to a therapist. That sounds fair. So it's, in my opinion, from my knowledge, based on my knowledge, relevant feedback. So I told ChatGPT the following. I am particularly interested in points 3 and 4. List me concrete questions for point 3 that I can ask my coachee. So point 3, revisit the coaching agreement. Okay, fair. And explain your thinking why it might be relevant to refer them to a therapist. What tells me when it's a good time for that? So based on this prompt, what did I do? I took ChatGPT's answer, and this is kind of a common or a universal principle you can use for any other case too. So whatever ChatGPT replies to you, you can refer to that in the next prompt and ask ChatGPT to, let's say, explain its thinking or to drill down into that a little bit, elaborate a little bit further on any specific part of its answer. So that's pretty great, and this is what I did. And what it came back with is, sure, here are some concrete questions that you could ask your coachee for point 3. Can you tell me more about your goals and expectations for this coaching relationship? Okay, So we wanted to revisit the coaching agreement. That makes sense, cool, helpful, good idea. Now, in regards to therapy, here's some signs that may indicate that a coachee may need therapy instead of coaching. Let's say they have experienced trauma or abuse that requires specialized care and support. Fair. I'm not going to read everything. And then that's cool too. If you're unsure whether to refer a coach to a coachee to a therapist, it's important to seek consultation from a licensed mental health professional or supervisor. That's a very good hint too. Cool. So then what I did is I said, the next session with this coachee is coming up soon. What's your recommendation for a meaningful structure of that meeting? And my supervisor, ChatGPT supervisor, gave back and replied, here's a recommendation for meaningful structure for the next coaching session with your coachee. Okay, so check in, revisit coaching agreement, makes sense. Explore that challenge. Okay, so I think ChatGPT mentioned resistance, fair. And then establish action step and closing. Okay, that's a little bit superficial, but still makes sense. And then I wanted to know because, well, how do I position evaluating if therapy might be a good next step or not? Because for me, this was missing here. And it said, evaluating whether therapy might be a good next step for your coachee is an important aspect of your role as a coach. Here are some suggestions for how to position this evaluation with your coachee. Be transparent, fair, focus on their needs, offer support, normalize seeking therapy, fair, good point, and seek consultation. All right, and I stopped the conversation with ChatGPT right now, or like based on that last part, but I hope you see the potential in this. So in order to use ChatGPT for this kind of purpose regularly, I would always open up, let's say, a new chat so that ChatGPT, let's say, doesn't mix up different coaching cases. And then you can always use the initial prompt of, let's say, instructing ChatGPT for its role. And yeah, potentially never share, obviously, any names with ChatGPT. Always use avatars. That is what I do. And then this is, to me at least, really helpful because it's a very creative area that you as a coach operate in. This is something ChatGPT or collaboration with ChatGPT can be really valuable in. All right, hopefully this was helpful.